In a world where a person's worth is measured by their fighting prowess, our hero was just a shadow moving among shining heroes, subjected to humiliation and violence, while his helpless sister paid the price. But when a strange regime activated a supernatural power within him, he began to shake up the rules of the game, turning every moment of weakness into a weapon that threatens the thrones of power. Our story begins with a chained boy saying to himself, "Why did things get this bad? Where am I anyway?" A huge monster appears wearing war clothes and carrying weapons, saying, "The one who will receive the divine punishment is the lowly human who dared to enter our sacred land." For thousands of years, our land, the sacred land of monsters, has been isolated from the outside world, and for the first time in history, humans are interfering in our affairs. This is considered a declaration of war, and the one who broke the covenant with us, bring down the divine punishment on him. The boy continues saying, "I was just in a cave a little while ago. Am I really going to die in this strange world?" 5 hours earlier, we see someone heading to a caravan, saying, "Wait, Tsuyoshi, finish eating quickly and don't stray from us." As soon as we enter, there are 2 other teams working alongside us in the cleaning today. "If you're lazy, you won't even get a piece of metal scrap." He sits next to him, and Tsuyoshi eats and says, "What? Why are so many people coming to a cave that's only C rank?" The person tells him, "Nowadays, in the time we're living in, there are more cleaners appearing, and we're not heroes or anything." At that moment, someone comes and tells them, "Wait, get yourselves ready. The heroes are coming." We see a group of people wearing the same clothes that Tsuyoshi and his friend were wearing, and one of them says, "Even if this cave is just C rank, it still gives me chills when I get near it. If this rank is like this, I can't imagine the horror in A or S rank caves." The strange thing is there were only a few dark ghosts here. Suddenly, 2 knights appear, a boy and a girl, and the male knight says to the female knight, "We're lucky, we got the reward easily, it seems we did a good job." The female knight tells him, "Yes, I think so." The people wearing the same clothes as our protagonist are called cleaners, and they are very impressed by the heroes who are the knights we just saw. Our protagonist begins to narrate, saying, "I'm Tsuyoshi. After the heroes defeat the dark ghosts in the cave, we come, the cleaning workers who people usually call garbage collectors, to collect the waste. We have nothing to do with the heroes. Cleaners and heroes live in different worlds. I failed the awakening test because my body is weak, but I still wanted to be a hero too." But his thoughts are interrupted when the leader of the cleaners says, "This is a destroyed cave, so it's not very big because it's just C rank. Finish quickly, we don't have much time. The cave will close after 4 hours, so finish your work quickly and gather here." While cleaning, our protagonist finds a piece of armor, so his friend tells him, "That's a good sign. This thing is worth some money." Tsuyoshi tells him, "Maybe that's right. I'll search deeper inside." His friend tells him, "Okay, don't forget that we'll meet after 3.5 hours. Tsuyoshi says to himself, "Valuable things are usually deeper. Let's continue." After 3.5 hours, we see our protagonist still digging and saying to himself, "Strange, there's nothing here. If all I found was just one piece of armor, that's not good." Someone comes and tells him, "Tsuyoshi, it's almost gathering time." Tsuyoshi tells him, "Okay, I'm almost done." Tsuyoshi thinks and says to himself, "This is not enough even for 1 day's expenses for Karina's treatment. I need to hurry and find something. Is this a well? I smell treasure. How is there a well inside the cave? It looks dry, there might be something valuable in it. If I find some intact equipment, it might cover a week's expenses for Karina's treatment." Our protagonist sees a ring in the hand of a skeleton, and the ring is golden and very beautiful. He goes down to take it, wears it, and says, "I did it. I found a rare item. A ring." Usually, this kind of equipment increases stats by a small percentage, but it sells for a very high price. "I've made a fortune. I'll wear it now, and then have Professor Nakazato evaluate its level. Better hurry and return to the gathering place. Thank God for this blessing." Suddenly, as soon as he wears it, a voice appears, and a banner says, "The Infinite Ring has acknowledged you as its owner, and from now on, the Infinite Ring cannot be removed, or its ownership changed. The Infinite Passage will open soon." Suddenly, our protagonist is pulled away and screams. They search for him but can't find him. Our protagonist begins to narrate, saying, "I'm done. I found myself a prisoner of the monster tribe, standing in front of the altar like a criminal, waiting for divine punishment. This divine punishment seems to be a terrifying lightning bolt that strikes the altar. This place appears to be the land of horror for the monster tribe. Was I transported here through the well?" We see the king of monsters sitting and saying, "Begin." My relatives, today we will execute 3 great criminals. The first is one of our own, who sold secret information about our lands to the despicable jinn and humans. They grab one of those to be punished and beat him, and the one beating him says, "The Supreme King's hammer, surrounded by punishing lightning bolts, will crush all sins. No one has ever escaped from this altar, the field of divine punishment." When they finish with him, the atmosphere turns red, and the King of Monsters says, "The one who will receive the divine punishment is the lowly human who dared to invade our sacred land." This is the first time in history that a human interferes in our affairs. For thousands of years, our land, the sacred land of monsters, has been isolated from the outside world, and this is considered a declaration of war. Bring down the divine punishment on the human who violated our covenant. The monster is holding our protagonist to be tortured, but our protagonist is screaming and saying, "Wait please, this is a misunderstanding. I got lost and came here by mistake. Please stop. I'm not from the humans here. My sister is waiting for me. I beg you, help me please." Our protagonist is shocked and says to himself, "Impossible, I can't die here. I still have Karina. I still dream of becoming a hero. How did things get this bad?" The guard captain of the monsters says, "You insects, how can an ordinary human defeat this great monster? Die and turn to ash in the divine punishment. Bring down the divine punishment on the guilty one." They bring down the first punishment, but our protagonist manages to avoid it. However, the second time they manage to hit him and they are shocked because he's still alive. All this is because of the ring that helps him and fixes his body, bringing him back to life again. All the monsters are very shocked by what they're seeing in front of them. Our protagonist approaches this huge hammer, and they are even more shocked. But the biggest shock of all is that he can lift this huge hammer with one hand. When our protagonist holds the huge golden hammer, the system screen appears and it says, "You have obtained the divine hammer. You have reached level 3. Current activated power of the divine hammer, 0. Due to lack of ability, you cannot use the true power of the divine hammer. Special effects, unknown. Cannot be confirmed due to lack of skill." There's a girl standing, shocked by what our protagonist is doing. The monster army commander is standing and saying to himself, "How can a human lift the divine hammer? Impossible. We cannot allow a lowly human to touch our great divine hammer. Even the great king of monsters himself couldn't lift it. How could an insignificant human do that?" They say that anyone who can carry the divine hammer is the king of monsters. This must be some kind of mistake. Our protagonist is standing, looking at his condition, and saying to himself, "Somehow, I feel I've become much stronger. I reached level 3. Is this the divine selection system?" Suddenly, the king of monsters comes in front of him, very angry, and tells him, "Woe to you, human! How dare you touch the divine hammer with your unclean hands?" The monsters talk and say, "This man is our great General Ryuga. He certainly won't let a human act with such impudence. Please, help us restore the dignity of monsters." Ryuga speaks and says to Tsuyoshi, "I don't know what trick you used, but it's clear that you escaped the divine punishment and even lifted the divine hammer. Hand over the hammer quietly. See, and prepare for your punishment." A notification comes from the system saying, "The passive skill, Supreme Eye, has been activated. Usage: you can see detailed information about any element by simply focusing on it. Cooldown: 1 second. Our protagonist sees Ryuga's status, and it says, Name, Ryuga. Title, General Level, 84. Profession, Great Sword, Warrior, Monster, Weapon, First Class Zanbato. Our protagonist thinks and says to himself, "The Supreme Eye. I can see the enemy's information. Is this also one of my features?" Ryuga speaks and says to Tsuyoshi while drawing his sword, "You lowly human, do you dare to challenge me? It seems you have some courage." Our protagonist tries to calm him down, but he doesn't wait and starts attacking him. There's a girl standing and saying to herself in shock, "This human is doomed." General Ryuga is one of the 5 greatest generals under the banner of the King of Monsters. Even among the monster men, he is a very powerful opponent. He can cut a human in half with just one strike. Meanwhile, our protagonist manages to block the powerful attack from Ryuga with the hammer in his hand. Ryuga thinks and says to himself, "I blocked the attack. My hands are numb. This hammer has unnatural power. He was able to block a fast strike from me, and his body withstood the shock, even though he just used the hammer." Ryuga speaks and says to Tsuyoshi, "You're lucky, the hammer saved your life. But next time, it won't happen." Tsuyoshi tells him, "I'm telling you, this is a misunderstanding. I'm not from this world. Please, listen to me." Ryuga tells him, "There's nothing to listen to. I've got you now." He starts to harm our protagonist, but he can't. Our protagonist touches a part of his body, and the king of monsters lets go of him, not knowing what to do. Our protagonist chooses a skill and manages to withstand all the attacks of the king of monsters. The shock is that he makes him kneel, and all the monsters are shocked and don't know what to do. At this moment, one of the monsters approaches and holds our protagonist by the shoulder and tells him, "It really seems that the divine hammer has chosen you. Maybe this is a sign from the rulers. For hundreds and thousands of years, you're the first one to be chosen by it." He speaks with the rest of the monsters and tells them, "My fellow monsters, we've never seen anyone able to lift the divine hammer, but this human did it. If he is indeed the future leader of the monsters, we must give him the chance and let him grow." All the monsters, and even the monster commander, talk and say that he's a human and it's not acceptable. This monster tells them, "So what? Did the prophecy say that the leader must be a monster? How can we ignore the person who might be the hope for our people?" The monster commander tells him, "This would be unbelievable. And yet, while the prophecy didn't specify this condition, if he's not a monster, then the future." This monster asks our protagonist about his name. So our protagonist tells him that his name is Tsuyoshi. This monster tells him, "Tsuyoshi, if you're ready to carry our future on your back, I'll set you free. But now, you're too weak. You must become stronger within 1 year and return here. Then we'll see if you deserve to be our leader or not. And if you don't return within this year, I'll use this mental mark to track you down and kill you wherever you are. This way, my people will be satisfied too." "Well, what's your answer?" All the monsters ask our protagonist to agree, and even the girl we saw before tells him, "Get your freedom and become stronger." Our protagonist says to himself, "That girl was supposed to be punished next. Let's try using the Supreme Eye skill." Our hero looks at the girl's status, which reads, Name, Title, Level 72, Occupation, Monster, Warrior, Dagger, User, Weapon, None. The girl continues and says, "It's better to be alive, so don't waste the miracle that heaven has given you." So Tsuyoshi says to himself, Level 72. Could she really be a strong warrior? Why was she described as a criminal? Tsuyoshi thanks the monsters and then says to himself, "Indeed, as she said, this is a miracle. No time to hesitate. First, I need to survive. And after that, I'll find a way back to my original world." So Tsuyoshi then speaks and says to the monster, "Okay, I'll accept your offer, but I have one condition." Tsuyoshi points to the girl who was speaking and says, "She will come with me. She might be useful." Then he says to himself, "Now, we're even. We don't owe each other anything." Night, our hero stands and says to himself, "From that voice I heard at that time, it seems everything started with this infinite ring that won't separate. But thanks to this ring, I've gained these strange abilities. But how in the world am I suppose to return to my original world?" Our hero is standing and hears a voice saying, "The preparations are complete, my lord. Yes, I've decided to serve you, my savior." This is the girl our hero saved from execution. Our hero is very happy and looks strange, thinking to himself, to be called "my lord" by a cute girl with monster ears is irresistible. After that, Tsuyoshi tells her, "It's not a big deal. Your words also helped me. From now on, we'll help each other. As for the word, lord or servant, that's..." The girl interrupts him and tells him, "You don't know how much this means to me. You, my lord, gave me a second life. No one has ever stood by me or thanked me this openly, except you, my lord. Please, allow me to call you lord. Your appearance is nothing short of a miracle to me. I want to give you everything." So Tsuyoshi tells her, "If that's what you want, you can certainly call me lord." So the girl tells him, "Yes, let's move. It's getting late. Be careful while walking." Hero is walking with her on the road and says to himself, "What an amazing other world. No, what am I thinking? Karina is waiting for me." A notification comes from the system that reads, "The infinite passage is now available for use. Note that the cooldown period is 24 hours. He looks at the ring and says to himself, "That's right. I was pulled into the infinite passage and transferred to this world. If I follow the same path, I should be able to return, right?" The ring opens a passage and this is the path to his home. Our hero enters it, and the girl looks for him but can't find him. Our hero returns to the original world and looks at the original world and looks at the original ring, then says, "I did it. The abilities I gained in the other world are still here. My level is still 3. Why is the heavenly hammer still here?" A notification comes from the system that reads, "Personal statistics are shared between worlds, but tools are not. To use tools from another world, they must first be placed in the heavenly consciousness storage." So Tsuyoshi says, "Since levels are shared, leveling up in either world shouldn't be a problem." Was I able to bring the heavenly hammer here because it was in the divine consciousness inventory? Wait, does this mean my current level is level 3? He hears his friend's voice from above saying, "What's all this noise? Get out quickly before the cave closes. Why are you still here, man? You've been gone for hours." At that moment, our hero says to himself, "What's happening? I spent at least 5 hours in the other world. Something is wrong." His friend interrupts his thinking and tells him, "You've been here the whole time. Good thing I came to get you. Hurry up and get out. Don't dawdle, because once the cave closes, you'll be trapped in it forever." Our hero grabs the rope and starts climbing up, saying to himself, "That's it, time was frozen. While I was in the other world, was time completely still here? It's like a manga story. Could time also be frozen in that other world now? Who is the original owner of this infinite ring, anyway?" When he comes up, he says to his friend, "The next awakening test will be tomorrow, right?" Quality. We see our hero carrying his sister and running. Then he meets an old person who tells him, "Tsuyoshi, if you stop, you'll die. So keep moving, don't back down. If you do, the darkness will kill you and Karina too. Calm down, you can't defeat the darkness." So Tsuyoshi tells him, "But my father and mother are still in the house." Suddenly, a huge explosion happens, and our hero screams to take his sister to the hospital. And in the present, Karina is saying to her brother, "Big brother, are you really retaking the awakening test tomorrow? Are you sure you're okay? You just got back from work today." The nurse tells her, "You're always hopeful, Karina. Make sure you rest too." Tsuyoshi tells her, "I'm fine. What about you, Karina? Does your leg still hurt?" The nurse tells her, "Nerve pain occurs regularly as a result of nerve damage, so make sure you take your medicine." Karina says, "I'm fine. Although I can no longer stand, the pain is still there, but I've gotten used to it now." Tsuyoshi thinks and says to himself, "Karina is really suffering, isn't she?" He looks at her condition, which reads, "Information about the target's physical condition. Her legs were trapped under a collapsed building, and 98% of her nerve cells are affected. The condition includes intermittent nerve pain. There is no possibility of natural recovery. Probability of walking without assistance again, 1%. Our hero is very shocked and thinks, saying to himself, "Only a 1% chance of walking without assistance. It must be extremely difficult for her. Karina should have been able to live a normal life, go to school, mix with friends, go on trips. She must have wanted to spend every day with a smile on her face. Karina is my only family. I don't want to see her suffer more than she has. Even if the odds are almost non-existent, I'll make sure she can rely on herself again. As long as there's a 1% chance, there's still hope. There must be a way to achieve this. If I could become a hero, I would be able to access more information and maybe find a solution. It's not just about healing Karina's legs. I want to live my life with pride. That's why I'll do it." Hote, at Mindsir, Bravery Test Group, BTG, Awakening Test Site. We see the doctor telling the person in front of him, "Measurement results, level 3, combat power 540. Congratulations, you are now a hero. Please accept the hero badge designed based on your test results." The boy laughs and says, "Finally, I'm a hero." His girlfriend is happy and says, "This is my friend. Keep working hard to reach rank C. I'll throw a big party to celebrate tonight." After they leave, the doctor says, "Next, let's see Tsuyoshi Tsukishiro. Retaking the test after failing the first time, huh? When you're ready, enter and place your hand on the measuring device. However, I doubt it will be any different from the previous time." Our hero Tsuyoshi enters and says, "We'll soon see if this is a waste of time or not." The doctor is shocked and says, "If you fail once, you're likely to get the same result every time. This device scientifically measures from all angles. After all, I've seen many stubborn people like you come here." Our hero moves while saying to himself, "That last guy was also level 3, with a combat power of 3. Well, that's within the normal range. I'm also level 3 now, so I'm supposed to be a hero. But how high is my combat power? I have to take this seriously." When our hero puts his hand in the device, something very strange happens and a huge energy comes out, and a voice says, "Measurement results, level 3, combat power 5400. The record for the combat power of a level 3 hero that has lasted for 30 years has been broken. Ranked first for the combat power of a level 3 hero. The combat power in second place is 930. Our hero is shocked and happy at the same time, saying to himself, 5400, how? This is 10 times more than that previous guy. I thought I would get a somewhat strong body, but I didn't expect this. Well, whatever. Everything is going according to plan. I'll aim for the strongest. By the way, I'm eager to know the power of the Heavenly King's hammer. He tries a strange energy in his hand, and a message appears from the system, saying, Notice, due to insufficient level and other conditions, the true power of the Heavenly King's hammer cannot be released. Forcibly releasing it will drain a tremendous amount of energy. Release duration 1 second. Our hero holds the hammer and says with frustration, So, in my current state, I can only manage 1 second. Well, 1 second should be enough time for the machine to calculate my combat power approximately. Let's see how much my combat power will increase with this. Okay, let's try it. He presses the button on the device and says, Release the power of the Heavenly King's hammer. A notification comes from the system, saying, Notice, the power of the Heavenly King's hammer has been released. Release duration 1 second. Our hero's power becomes extremely formidable, and he says to himself, My body's energy has been completely drained in an instant. People don't know what to do, and the doctor tells our hero, Hurry up and measure. Tell me how much my combat power has increased. Our hero can't measure, so the doctor tells him, Due to the power outage, the test has been suspended. Please evacuate immediately. After his power is depleted, our hero looks strange, and the doctor doesn't recognize him. Our hero is walking home and saying to himself, I underestimated it. I didn't expect my power to be completely drained in just 1 second. I should avoid using the Divine King's hammer until I gain the appropriate strength. But, at least I'm officially a hero now. And at the training grounds, we see a person saying, I'm Jaya, the hero responsible for training you. The instructions will be difficult, but you will need to keep up. This person's status is, name, Jaya level, 9 occupation, warrior combat power, 1200. Our hero stands and says to himself, combat power of only 1200 at level 9. I wonder what my combat power will be when I reach level 9. He was thinking to himself, assigning me to train beginners is worse than exploring a D-rank dungeon rather than doing this hard work. Then he says to the trainees, you will all enter a D-rank dungeon tomorrow. After some field experience, you will discover which profession suits you better. There's also a chance to get low-level items. One of the trainees says to him, isn't there supposed to be a week of basic physical training first? Shouldn't we determine our professions before entering the dungeon? Gaia tells him, basic physical training. We don't have time for that. Now that you've become heroes, you'll hone your skills through real combat. This is my way. I warn you that the training will be rigorous. If you can't keep up, withdraw. Understood? No questions, just follow orders. Tsuyoshi thinks to himself. He's just venting his frustration. In the end, a hero is still human, right? Well, it doesn't matter. After all, I have a level 72 monster girl waiting for me. Once the infinite passage cooldown period ends, I'll return to the other world. He's sitting while news plays on the television saying, due to the earthquake that occurred around 7 p.m. today, power was cut off in some areas of the city. Fortunately, no injuries were reported from the earthquake. Heroes Union, Tsuyoshi says. Good, now that the cooldown period for the path has ended, it's time to return to the other world where I'll become stronger, choose my profession, and gather all the equipment I need. Open infinite passage. And 3 the ring begins to break and transports our hero to the day's second world. After transferring, he thinks to himself, so, I've returned here again. The scene is still the same as before. Even my clothes have returned to what I was wearing the first time. I see. Once I leave this world, both time and equipment return to their original state. The girl we saw before comes to him and says, is there something important, sir? Tsuyoshi tells her, nothing. Anyway, let's start leveling up with you as the leader. The girl gets happy and tells him, I'm glad to see you excited, sir. There's a level 3 goblin nest nearby. What do you think about training there first? Even though they're only level 3, these goblins are cunning, corrupt, and numerous, so you need to stay alert. Our hero thinks to himself, if they're corrupt, you're the one who needs to be careful. Ah, goblins. This is starting to feel like a real fantasy world now. I'm excited to see what kind of effects the heavenly selection system will create. Then our hero says, alright, it's settled. Our first target is the goblins. They arrive at a certain place and our hero tells the base girl, be careful not to wake the goblin guards. You're level 72. You should be able to defeat them easily, right? Tsuyoshi thinks to himself. Her combat power is 630,000, which is impressive as expected from level 72. The girl says to him, how do you know my level? Tsuyoshi tells her, I'm not your master, for nothing, you know. Anyway, can you show me how a high-level hero fights? The girl tells him, but if I fight alongside you, you won't gain any experience points. The level difference is too great. Tsuyoshi tells her, "Huh, is there such a rule? But I wanted to see you fight." The girl tells him, "In action, you're flattering me, but if you insist, I'll try. I'm not sure how useful it will be, but watch carefully." The girl goes and takes out the goblin. Our hero is very amazed at what he sees and tells her, "That's the move of a level 72 warrior. Very impressive." The girl tells him, "You're very kind. I always do my best, even against low-level opponents. I hope that was helpful." Tsuyoshi tells her, "It definitely was. By the way, can you teach me that technique you used earlier?" The girl tells him, "Instant step is a skill for high-level warriors, so it's not suitable for you right now. Besides, you haven't decided on a profession yet, right?" Tsuyoshi tells her, "If that's the case, I'll become a warrior too. After all, you're with me." Tsuyoshi thinks to himself, "With a level 72 warrior by my side, it will be easier to replicate skills without worrying about professional compatibility. But since I can't use the Heavenly King's hammer, I need to find an alternative weapon." The system sends a notification saying, "Notification, you have switched to the warrior profession." The girl tells him, "You chose to become a warrior because of me, and I'll make sure to be helpful. I'll do my best to help you level up. First, let's gather some equipment for warriors." Our hero says to himself, "How beautiful this world is." At that moment, monsters appear, so our hero pushes the girl behind him and says, "Looks like I'll have to deal with these guys on my own. Give me a dagger, there's something I want to try." A notification from the system appears, saying, "Notification, silver dagger equipped, borrowed." The girl tells him, "Sir, facing an enemy of your level head-on is somewhat exhausting." Our hero thinks to himself, "I haven't fully tested the power of Heaven Shaker yet. You'll be my guinea pigs." At that moment, our hero attacks them and begins to eliminate them with ease. The girl is shocked and says to herself, "To defeat goblins of the same level in an instant, even a group of 6 would struggle against them." Afterward, our hero speaks and says, "This seems surprisingly easy. I'll take care of the rest of these goblins." Then Tsuyoshi says to himself, "The heavenly selection system is truly amazing. I'll reach level 4 by the end of the night." The system screen displays our hero's status. Level 3, Profession, Warrior Weapon, Silver Dagger, Borrowed, Skill, None Replicated Skill, Heaven Shaker Experience. We see the girl approach our hero and tell him, "I'm sorry for the inconvenience, please use this as a weapon for now." Tsuyoshi tells her, "Don't worry, even a goblin staff isn't too bad." The girl tells him, "We need to hurry and gather some basic equipment. Your current gear provides almost no defense, sir." Then Tsuyoshi thinks to himself, "Indeed, without proper equipment, I'll be completely vulnerable to attacks. I'll need not only a weapon but armor too." By the way, I did a little research about the Heavenly Consciousness Inventory earlier. The Heavenly Consciousness Inventory is a spatial consciousness existing exclusively in humans, unaffected by the real world. Current slots, 2. Our hero continues thinking and says to himself, "Unlike regular item storage, items in the Heavenly Consciousness Inventory can be used in both worlds." Interesting. Currently, there are only 2 slots, and the hammer occupies 1, so only 1 slot remains. The Heavenly Consciousness Inventory is described. The Heavenly Consciousness is like a tool that grows with training and is also affected by individual abilities. Leveling up will expand the slots. Our hero continues thinking and says, "It seems that with your training and growth, and as your level increases, the slots of the Heavenly Consciousness Inventory also expand. How can I increase the slots? I can't easily get rid of the hammer. Having only 1 slot open is inconvenient." In both worlds, a complete set of equipment is divided into 5 parts. The girl calls out to our hero and says, "Sir, is there something on my face?" Our hero looks at her, not knowing what to say, and thinks to himself, "Ah, girls with monster ears are truly irresistible. I wonder what other races exist in this world." Then he tells her, "Nothing. I was just checking if you were still following me." Surprise! Monsters attack again, but the girl defends our hero and tells him, "The goblins get stronger the deeper we go. Stay alert." Our hero asks her, "Does that mean the experience points gained will also increase?" Then he prepares a weapon and attacks the monsters, eliminating them with ease as his experience points increase in the system. He then says, "The higher the enemy's level, the more experience you gain. But this weapon is too fragile." The girl is shocked by our hero and says to herself, "Master's latent power has amazing, explosive strength." That blow, with the wooden staff, showed a power that a master level shouldn't possess, defeating 3 enemies at once in an instant, despite the level difference. This is what makes him a master. Our hero starts to eliminate all of them, and his skills increase dramatically. The girl is very happy and says to herself, the deeper they went, the more goblins there were, and the higher their levels. But Tsuyoshi's explosive power made their numbers meaningless. The skill is good, but the weapon is poor. This is already the 6th one. Our hero himself is also shocked and says to himself, my god, I never expected the experience rewards in this world to be this amazing. I'm getting stronger, much faster than I expected. When I was working as a janitor, heroes complained that the experience from level 3 and 4 kobolds barely added up to 10. If you don't enter dungeons repeatedly, reaching the next level would be an unattainable dream. He remembers in his original world when his friend told him, everything is seized by the guild, leaving nothing for us. Maybe we should join them too. All fortified towers are contested. When will we level up? Tsuyoshi continues and says to himself, but in this world, I can exploit all the experience. Additionally, the monsters here seem to give me more experience. This is amazing. I'll level up like crazy in this other world. At this rate, I'll rush straight to the boss. Is that the goblin chief? The girl interrupts his thoughts and says, unfortunately, this time, the chief has fallen under the control of darkness. Our hero doesn't respond to her at all and thinks to himself very nervously, darkness. There's darkness in this world too. In the original world, there's also darkness lurking in the caves. Could it be the same entity? That dark goblin resembles the one that killed my father and mother. Could it really be the same thing? The girl shouts and tells him, enemies possessed by darkness are powerful. The chief here is level 6, but once possessed by darkness, his strength increases significantly. Darkness not only possesses terrifying power, but its very existence is shrouded in mystery. That's why I'll handle this chief myself. Our hero thinks to himself with all malice, I'll destroy him with my own hands completely, whether now or in the future. I don't know what connection darkness has across different worlds, but I'll kill them all. I'll kill those who killed my father and mother, with my own hands. Our hero attacks these monsters to take revenge on them because they are the reason for the death of his family and also the injury of his sister. He manages to eliminate a large number, but suddenly, he gets wounded and falls to the ground. A monster is about to finish him off, but this girl saves him. Our hero gets up from the ground, feeling very tired, and says to himself, are you trying to kill me? You who killed my father and mother, and enemies of Karina, I refuse to be killed by the likes of you. At that moment, he activates his full ultimate physical activation ability. Then our hero says, if I don't have a weapon, my body will be the weapon. And the system tells him, enhancement focuses on the right hand. It is suffering from severe strain, so be careful. Our hero launches with terrifying strength to the extent that he eliminates all the monsters in one go, and when he finishes them off, his strength and level have increased tremendously, which is a very powerful thing. We see our hero extremely exhausted because he used excessive power. At that moment, the system says, your right hand is severely injured, and if not treated immediately, it will cause necrosis. You can freely modify its parts and strengthen your strongest body, and since you focused all your energy on your right hand, it is now unable to withstand an equivalent energy load. Our hero tries to regain his strength, but suddenly falls to the ground and loses consciousness. After 1 hour plays, our hero wakes up saying, I already feel much better, and then he says to himself, the recovery speed is much slower than medicine in the original world, but its effects are tremendous. Perhaps the pharmacology in this world has an older history. After that, he says, I'm happy that the medicine worked so wonderfully. I now feel more energetic and stronger than before. So the girl tells him, let's go get our rewards now. So Tsuyoshi says to her, oh, right, I completely forgot about the reward. At that moment, the system tells our hero, note, rewards have been added. The record for the shortest time to destroy the boss in this cave has been achieved. Rating will be upgraded from partial reward to specified reward. So both of them look behind them and the girl says, here is the treasure chest, and it's also a dark treasure chest. He approaches the treasure and thinks, saying to himself, were rewards added? Dark treasure chest. Dark equipment is very rare here, it's something you rarely find at auctions. Thanks to my efforts, I finally got this reward. What a wonderful world. He opens the treasure chest and a very strong light emerges from it. Then the system says, note, you have received the Dark Imp set. So the girl says to him, getting a set reward is a real blessing. This outfit will definitely be useful to us. At that moment, our hero says to himself, wait a minute now, I only have one slot left in my inventory. Then the system displays an optional message for our hero, saying, do you want to save it in your inventory? Yes, divided by no heavenly consciousness, inventory, number of slots, 2, remaining slots, 1. Our hero chooses yes and thinks, saying to himself, I wonder if the complete set counts as one piece. If I add it to the inventory, will it only take up one space? Then the system tells our hero, the Black Imp set has been added to your inventory. You can retrieve the set whenever you want. So our hero then thinks and says to himself, oh, what a steal. I can't believe it worked. The girl interrupts his thoughts and says to him, sir, why are you smiling like that? Our hero gets embarrassed and tells her, oh, nothing. I was just looking at the set reward. By the way, are you good at sewing? The girl tells him, yes, I've been sewing my own clothes since I was little, so I have a sewing kit with me. While the two of them are sitting together and this girl pulls out a t-shirt and says to him, sir, it's done. Is this enough? Our hero is very happy and puts on the t-shirt, telling her, yes, thank you, you're very skilled. So the girl tells him, I'm happy to be of service. At that moment, our hero thinks and says to himself, now that I've reached the required level and got my equipment, it's time to go back. After that, he tells her, we should settle down tonight to rest and recover. Our hero returns to his real world and says tiredly, my god, I finally came back. After wandering with her, we finally found a place to stay. I had to wait for her to fall asleep before I returned to rest. This time, I have a lot of amazing things. I can't stop the rhythm of this world forever. I need to sleep a little. Tomorrow, we'll enter a cave for the first time. The next day, our hero wakes up and finds the system telling him, the Black Imp set is available to you. Would you like to acquire it? Our hero chooses to do so, and something starts to appear, and the system then says, you have chosen to wear the Dark Imp set. And these are the special skills for the Dark Imp set. Roaring Claws. When this skill is activated, a scream will immediately frighten away all low-level enemies near you, and at the same time, the hand transforms into a giant ghostly sensor that inflicts fatal damage. Our hero tries it on a monster and says, great, it even has special skills. Haha, this will be fun. But I'll get into trouble if I go out and other heroes see me in this outfit. It's said that many heroes will kill others and steal their equipment. And if a newcomer wears this type of equipment, I'll definitely stand out. Equipment. Then the system says to our hero, equipment effect. Hide your equipment and make it look like regular clothes. Do you want to hide your equipment? Our hero chooses no and says, make it look like regular clothes. Great. There are still a few minutes before the meeting. I should get some bread. Why is the phone ringing? This phone is one he found in the market and our hero answers. Then the speaker says, are you Karina's brother? I'm the head nurse. There are scary people in the hospital who want to take Karina. They say she owes them money. Please come here immediately. So our hero tells her, I had no choice but to take out a loan to keep Karina in the hospital. But why are they taking her when I'm paying them every week as agreed? So the head nurse tells him, don't let him touch her. They took my phone. Please hurry and come. Our hero gets very angry, looks terrifying, and starts moving to go there. Our hero's sister is screaming and saying, please wait for my brother, stop. This is horrible. Please don't touch me. What do you want from me? There's a person with his men approaching her and saying, you may have no idea, but we have our reasons for taking you away. Your brother borrowed money and didn't pay it back at the agreed time, so I'm taking you according to the contract. This person is saying to himself, the only reason I lent that idiot money is because the young manager liked this girl. A girl of this beauty would sell for a pittance in the black market, and the fact that she can't walk also pleases the rich. I used some tricks when we made the deal, but the idiot didn't notice. She's a child, so I can take her and enjoy as I please. I know what I'm doing. I've done it before. So Karina tells him, my brother would never sign such a contract. You tricked him. So this person gets very angry and chokes her and says to her, your brother's weekly payments barely cover the interest. When will he return, the principal? Let me tell you something. If you come with us nicely, we'll treat you nicely. But if you refuse, well, no hard feelings, okay. But they are suddenly surprised when the wall breaks and our hero appears in a very terrifying form. When our hero enters, everyone is surprised, and the gang leader says, my god, look who finally decided to show up. Why do you look so angry? Isn't this what we agreed on? Anyway, you don't need a disabled sister like her. Our hero directs a very powerful punch at him that sends him flying, using the strongest part of the body, strengthening the legs and increasing movement speed. The guard comes to hit our hero, but he blocks his blow and breaks his arm. At that moment, their leader gets very angry and raises his weapon, saying, "My goodness, no one has ever challenged the Blue Snake team. This is the first time, just die." He fires a bullet at him, but the shock is that our hero catches it with his hand. He's stunned and says, "Did he catch the bullet with his bare hands?" "Impossible." Our hero looks at him evilly and says, "After all, I am a hero now." The system then says, "Strongest part of the body. Hands cannot be injured by conventional weapons." After a while, the nurse brings an officer with her and tells him, "Over here, some loan sharks came and threatened a patient and her brother. Hurry." When the officer enters, we are surprised that our hero has broken their bones as they are walking away in chains, and their leader says, "Mr. Tsuyoshi, please pay the full amount as soon as possible. If you delay payment, our young boss, who is also a hero, may not remain silent then." "Sorry, I apologize for interrupting you today. We will leave now." The leader is shocked and doesn't know what to do and says to himself, "Has the boy become a hero? Damn, I must inform the boss, or his plan to kidnap the sister will fail." The boss is a level 100 warrior. It seems this boy is still a trainee and we will finish him off. So Karina, our hero's sister, tells him they left. So our hero says, "Karina, I'm sorry I couldn't see you as much as I wanted to. They have a viewpoint that if we don't pay off our debts soon, the blue snakes will return. I've spent the last few days trying to figure out how to pay them, but I'm a hero now, so don't worry." "Okay," Karina says to him. "Have you really become a hero?" Tsuyoshi tells her, "Yes, but I'm still a trainee for now. I'll be officially recognized once I reach the cave today." Tsuyoshi starts thinking and says, "I borrowed $60,000 from the Blue Snake gang to treat Karina. If I were to continuously earn money in this world, it would take a long time. Even if I became an official hero, the only solution is to sell all my equipment. The cold season in the Unlimited Passage ends tonight. I'll finally become an official hero." And Jaya, who's standing there, says to the trainees in front of him, "Everyone's here, right? Today, all your skills will be tested to see how ready you are to become official heroes. There are some rules, most importantly, giving me all the hero equipment you find in the cave." Our hero is standing there saying to himself, "I've heard about these things. It seems the Heroes Union turns a blind eye to them. Well, I don't think there's much to be found in a low-level cave anyway." At that moment, Jaya continues his speech and says, "As for the test, rest assured, I'm a level 9 warrior. As long as you follow me and follow my instructions, you shouldn't have any problem passing the test. In return, for you to become official heroes, thanks to me, each of you will pay 20,000 yen. Do you understand?" Our hero speaks up and says, "Why are we paying you an extra fee? Didn't you get all the equipment in the cave? This way, we won't have any money for ourselves." Someone next to him says, "Hey, don't go against him. This guy is a member of the Mad Wolf Guild." Tsuyoshi then thinks and says to himself, "He's got the guild's support. No wonder he's asking for money so shamelessly. However, I won't pay a man like him to help the strong and crush the weak, even if I have to die for it." Jaya tells him, "Because these are my rules. If you're too poor to afford 20,000 yen, register for an individual test." And Jaya then says to himself, "Don't you understand this logic? What kind of idiot are you? I don't care what happens to you because you provoked me." The trainees then say to Jaya, "Individual test. It's said that no trainee has ever passed it before. Even the strongest heroes don't enter the cave alone. What a fool to bring the examiner's wrath upon himself just for 20,000 yen." Our hero speaks up and says, "So I can register for an individual test. That's convenient." The instructor tells him, "Are you serious? You must be mistaken to register for an individual test. I'd like to do one final check just to make sure, but no one has ever passed the test, not one. Even though it's a Class C cave in the Heroes Union exam. Isn't that a suicide mission for a new trainee?" Our hero tells him, "Thank you for your advice. No doubt about it. Please let me go." "Come on, okay, I'll enter now." Our hero enters and walks around saying, "I've only seen caves after heroes have cleared the darkness from them. Is this what the original cave looked like?" Suddenly, a monster attacks our hero. So our hero looks at it and says, "A surprise attack. That level of strength won't hurt me." After that, our hero hits it and says, "This dark goblin is very strong, but compared to my combat power of 6,400, you're nothing but dust." After our hero finishes it off, he says, "I knew that the experience gained from real-world enemies doesn't even reach half compared to their counterparts on the other side, so no wonder heroes suffer from slow growth. Don't sneak up on me, come at me all at once." Monsters begin to attack the hero, but he finishes them off and says, "Perfect timing. Come on, here come the roaring probes. The instructor is standing there saying, the hour is almost complete. If you've held out alone all this time, you've done more than enough. You're not afraid of anything, are you, rookie? No sane person takes an individual test. The guild was about to cancel this test anyway. In a few minutes, the obituary of the newcomer will be recorded. Test result update. Tsuyoshi, Tsukishiro, passed. 1. Status. And our hero's status shows. Level, 4 job, warrior equipment, dark goblin set special skill, roaring probes, weapon, none skills, none copied skill, sky earthquake combat value, 6,400, and our hero then says, sorry, is there a place nearby where I can wash up? And Jay is standing there saying, if I wasn't here, you would have died long ago. You managed to become a hero even though you can't help with attacks. 20,000 is a very cheap price. The trainees speak up and say to Jaya, didn't you say that the instructor ordered us not to interfere? You rejected our offer to support you with healing magic. Not satisfied with 20,000. And on top of that, this is your first time entering a cave, and there was no explanation to speak of. It's unfair for you to be angry at us. Jaya tells them, let me remind you, at your level, you should be charged 40,000. I'm leaving you with just 20,000, isn't that enough? After that, he speaks into his headset and says, it's me, Hero Testing Center. I'm busy now, so get straight to the point. What? That man passed the individual test. That's impossible. After that, he communicates with our hero and says to him, how did you pass the individual test? Answer me. I checked, and you're just a level 4 rookie at most. Did you use some high-level tools? It has never happened before that a rookie passed the individual test. Our hero comes in front of him and says, just because it hasn't happened before doesn't mean it's impossible, right? Maybe the reason was necessity after I was almost charged 20,000. Jaya grabs our hero and angrily says to him, are you mocking me? Answer before you regret it. I'm a member of the Lazy Wolf. Our hero tells him, at level 9 and a combat power of 1,200, you don't seem like a guild worth mentioning. Jaya gets very angry and gathers power in his hand, saying angrily to our hero, who do you think you are? How dare you insult me? Our hero then grabs his hand and says to him, do you intend to beat me to death with your level 9 fists? Jaya is shocked at that moment and says to himself, that strength and that speed. I can't believe he's at level 4. After that, he gets really angry and raises his weapon against our hero and says, what are you hiding? He attacks our hero, but our hero blocks the attack to the extent that the sword breaks. Jaya is shocked and says, did it break? It didn't feel like a human body. You're hiding some kind of equipment, aren't you? It must be high-level gear. Our hero is surprised and says to himself, oh, I accidentally revealed my abilities. It would be annoying if people in this world discovered my secret. Jaya then says to our hero, what do you have? It must be something valuable. Did you find it in the cave? Or did you steal it? Our hero then tells him, I was scared. If it weren't for that worn-out dagger, things would have gotten dangerous. The instructor then speaks up and says, sorry for keeping you waiting. Tsukishiro-san, here for identity verification. With this, you are now officially a hero. Tsukishiro tells him, understood, I'll be there right away. Tsukishiro then thinks and says to himself, that was a lifesaver. You won't repeat such moves in front of officials again, will you? Thanks to the system, my combat power is higher than a normal level 4, but confronting high-level enemies is still very annoying. And at night, Tsukishiro is sitting and thinking about the girl, saying to himself, it seems I caught Jaya's attention. There are no girls with beast ears in this world. My level is still low, so I should avoid drawing attention. 8C Jaya. It's standing in front of our heroes and tains. A door and someone tells him, is this the place? After you break down the door, use magic to paralyze them while you knock them out and move them away. Jaya happily tells him, we'll divide his treasure later. His magician friend tells him, shh, don't make a loud noise, it might attract attention. First, break the chains with magic. Get ready. But suddenly, the door breaks as soon as they approach it, and our hero suddenly comes out and beats them severely. He thinks and says to himself, even if he had a level 10 magician with him, with a combat power of 3,500, but the difference in level is 6 ranks. It's a big flaw for me to fight face to face. Combat value is an intuitive indicator to evaluate a hero's abilities. My combat power is 6,400, but my level is only 4. If the level difference doesn't exceed 2 ranks, I can find a way to deal with it. But even if my opponent at level 10 has less combat power, he can make up for it with the level difference. To clarify in RPG terms, it's like a low-level warrior fighting a weak but high-level boss. Should I escape, relying on equipment and skills? But if I fail, I'll lose immediately. The magician then tells him, "Are you trying to ambush me? Luckily, I enhanced my cloak's defense. I'll kill you and take your belongings quickly." He starts unleashing his flame jet power on him. Our hero begins to dodge these attacks and escape, saying to himself, "My god, this equipment is strong against physical attacks, but it doesn't protect me from magic. Waving a wand inside a cave is completely different from fighting a goblin. I have to escape now. If I fight them face to face, I'll lose." He jumps through the broken window, saying to himself, "I'll focus body enhancement on both legs together. With the defense of the Dark Goblin set, I should be able to withstand the landing impact." Our hero then activates absolute physical fitness power, concentration of enhancement on both legs. Please note that the rest of the body is unprotected. We see that our hero is escaping when he meets a person standing in front of him, and this person is a member of the Mad Wolf. He is level 12, a warrior, and his combat power is 3,900. This person gathers all his strength as he hits our hero and says, "Got you. You didn't think there was a third person, did you? It's a waste on someone like you." However, our hero is lying on the ground with the ground broken around him, and he thinks at that moment, saying to himself, "Fortunately, I reinforced my entire body before landing. I took a direct knee strike because I removed the protection from my stomach when I fell, but thanks to the defense of the Dark Goblin set, I was able to reduce the damage." This person is standing and saying to our hero, "I'm surprised you're still alive." The magician comes running and says, "What was that skill you used to attack me earlier? How can a rookie do something like this?" Our hero begins to transform in a terrifying way and says to himself, "If you're trying to kill me, I'm ready to respond in kind." The monster comes out of his body and begins to attack, and our hero says to himself with exhaustion, "Damn, my skill has been stopped." The magician then tells him, "Having a skill like this at this level means you must have something valuable." The other person tells him, "Heh, if I kill you, we'll divide the spoils." The magician tells him, "That's your goal, isn't it?" The system then says to our hero, "Note that the waiting period for the Infinity Ring has ended. You can now use the Infinity Path." So our hero looks at the ring and says to himself, "Heaven has saved me. Open the Infinity Path." He avoids all the fire attacks and says as he withdraws to the second world, "I will remember all of this. I will return stronger. Then the real battle will begin." When he goes to the second world, he thinks and says to himself, "I escaped. This time, I need to level up and learn new skills. I've been carried too much by good equipment. If I don't have the skill to support it, everything could be taken from me. My fate is in my hands." The girl named Musuko is sleeping, and when she wakes up, she says, "I slept well for the first time in a while." Our hero is sitting, unable to sleep at all due to anxiety, and says to her, "Yes, I slept well too. Can you sew me another piece of clothing? After that, we can set off." Musuko tells him, "To learn skills, you need a skill scroll. The fastest way is to study at the Combat Academy. At the small Combat Academy of the Beastman tribe, there's a very strong-looking ghoul standing, saying, 'Are you the human who caught the Beast King's attention?' Still, there are conditions for enrollment. First, you must reach level 6, then you must pass the test. You're still at level 4, so it's still way too early." Our hero gets upset and says, "What a problem." Musuko tells him, "Sorry, I trained in the cave for so long that I didn't expect such conditions." Our hero tells her, "It's okay, anyway, I need to level up. I'll come back later." Musuko tells him, "Yes, in that case, you can level up in the nearby low-level cave." As they're walking away, the ghoul says, "You filthy human, the beastmen don't acknowledge you. If not for the Beast King's words, you'd be torn to pieces. And even if you reach level 6, you won't pass the exam. You bring a worthless dog with you. You two are truly a perfect pair." Wah. Musuko is walking and thinking to herself, "It's really my fault. My master is so kind that I forgot my place. I'll be a nuisance if I stay here. I don't want to burden my master. I'll have to explain everything properly and eventually say goodbye." But suddenly, our hero gets angry, approaches this monster, grabs him by his clothes, and says furiously, "You scoundrel, what did you just say? Should I tear your mouth apart? Apologize to her right now." The ghoul tells him, "I was just stating facts. That girl is a mix of human and beast. In other words, she's a half-beast. She's a disgrace to us beastmen and doesn't even have a proper name." Our hero then thinks to himself, so she was of human and beast descent. That's why her name didn't appear when I saw her through the celestial eye earlier, because she didn't have a name at all. The ghoul tells him, human, don't get cocky just because the Beast King showed interest in you. If you disrespect a Beastman warrior, I will punish you in kind. I might let you force me to apologize to that girl if you pass the exam, but I don't think an ordinary human can accomplish that. Our hero stays quiet for a moment, then the girl speaks up and says, Master, you're absolutely right. There's no need to get involved for someone like me. Our hero silences her and says to the ghoul, Sakura, her name is Sakura, remember that. Sakura is amazed and says to herself, Sakura, is this the name you've given me, Master? Our hero interrupts her thoughts and says, remember what you said before, if I succeed, you'll have to apologize properly. Sakura, let's go level up. Our hero is standing and saying, a fox beastman, that's really rare. Well, let's level up with these. Sakura asks him, Master, why did you name me Sakura? Our hero tells her, don't you like it? I named you that by coincidence. Sakura tells him, no, I like it. I love it very much. I just want to know how you came up with this name. Our hero tells her, this is a bit embarrassing, but you always have a faint scent of cherry blossoms. I thought the name Sakura suits you, so I named you that. I apologize if I overstepped. Suddenly, Sakura hugs him and says, thank you, Master. I really love this name. Sakura, this is my name. Our hero is standing and saying, so, shall we start, Sakura? How does the dagger I bought earlier suit you? It's not the finest piece, but it's much stronger than a goblin club. Yes, I'm satisfied. Lifting that hammer makes any weapon seem light. Suddenly, strange creatures begin to attack him, and these creatures are fox beastmen from the fox tribe. They move quickly and are smarter than ordinary beastmen. Adventurers who underestimate them will regret it. Level 5 combat power, 720. Our hero tells her, Sakura, stay back and instruct me as usual. I want the experience, so don't interfere. The system then tells our hero, group mode restrictions. If the level difference between the highest and lowest levels in the group exceeds 5, it will not be possible to gain any experience or items in battle. And then our hero attacks, saying, let's go, I'll try my new dagger. Sakura says, the fox is an agile beast man, so refrain from swinging widely. Our hero begins to attack, and in the middle of the fight, he activates maximum physical fitness, concentrates the body's strength on specific areas, greatly increasing physical resistance, and the monsters are shocked, so our hero says, with this level of combat power, you can't even scratch me. Sakura is standing and thinking to herself, my master's defense is, as expected from someone chosen by the Iron Hammer, low-level enemies are no match for you. And with this, I can level up quickly. Our hero starts finishing them off more and says, against fast enemies, speed is more important than power. I've learned that. In this world, leveling up is fast, and there's no need to compete for resources that would allow me to monopolize experience. Afterward, he stands and starts thinking to himself, at this rate, these three have a maximum combat power of 3,900, but their levels are at 12. No matter how high my combat power is, with this level difference, winning is impossible. I'm outnumbered, and considering their skills, victory would be difficult. I need to narrow the level gap and acquire 4 skills. Then our hero says out loud, let's level up to level 6 at once, Sakura. I'll make that arrogant beast man bow his head. And he was monsters watching the monsters and is standing with Sakura watching the monster, and our hero says, I wonder if this sword will drop. Its length and strength are perfect for me. Sakura asks him, do you want it? Our hero tells her, no, I was just curious. Does it really drop? Sakura tells him, yes, most items drop, but the drop rate depends on rarity. It's best to keep fighting until you get what you want. Efficiency varies by cave, and using special items can speed up the process. Drop rate, the probability of obtaining an item after defeating an enemy. Generally, the higher the quality, level, and effect of the item, the lower its drop rate. Our hero is standing and thinking to himself, so, there's even a drop rate. It's really like a game world. This makes the system easier to understand. Oh, if you look closely, you'll find all kinds of details written here. Cold black light sword. Its drop rate is 6%. That's very low. It seems getting it before level 6 will be difficult. What a shame. It's perfect for me. A screen from the system appears. Our hero continues his thinking and says to himself, exchange system. So there's still more I don't know. Currently, the only thing available for exchange is the high probability drop scroll. The system then shows something to our hero with the following written: high probability drop scroll. For 1 minute, increases the drop rate of all items by 30%. Stock 3. Exchange condition: defeat a total of 30 normal monsters, from level 1 to 5. Current: defeat total 114, condition met. Our hero is happy and continues thinking to himself, 114. I can exchange them. 1 scroll for every 30 defeats. It seems the number of defeated enemies is cumulative in both worlds. If I exchange all 3 at once, will the drop rate be 96%? Then, it should drop almost immediately, when our hero holds 3 scrolls in his hand. After that, our hero says, Sakura, let's get that sword. This will make me much stronger. Sakura tells him, Master, do your best. Our hero tells her, stay focused. Sakura, give me directions. When our hero moves to attack this monster, the monster attacks him, and our hero manages to avoid its attacks and says to himself, does this sword have a cold effect? Sakura then speaks and says, the Black Fox Beastman is not only agile but also has tremendous power. His weapon is infused with ice properties, which will slow your movement and drain your energy when hit. So, exploit his weakness and end the battle quickly. The Black Fox Beastman fears fire. Applying flame oil to your weapon would be effective. Our hero then says, I understand. Let's see which will prevail, your ice or my fire. He calls for a power, and this power is flame oil. Indeed, our hero manages to control the battle because of this power and asks this monster to take the sword. Sakura is very happy and says, the Fox Beastman's weak points are in his armpits and neck, target those areas. The monster starts to return to the battle again, but our hero surprises him by inflicting a large wound on his arm. At that moment, a message from the system appears, saying, Alert, when attacking an enemy's weak point, their status changes to cowering, allowing double damage to be inflicted. During this period, the enemy's aggression and morale drop significantly, making them more vulnerable to attacks. Duration of calming: 15 seconds. At that moment, our hero Tsuyoshi was thinking and saying to himself, can it have this kind of effect? Interesting, I'll take advantage of this opportunity. At that moment, Sakura says, Sir, enemies in this state have weaknesses that are easier to identify. Make sure to dodge correctly while looking for opportunities to hit them. Then Tsuyoshi responds to her saying, Got it, thank you. He goes back, and the monster is very tired and approaching, so our hero says to himself, without Sakura's advice, I would have died. After that, he prepares his sword and says, Is it over? Then it's my turn. At that moment, Sakura tells him, now target the neck. And our hero actually attacks with his sword, and the system displays messages saying, maximum physical fitness, 60% of body strength concentrated in both arms, allowing 200% energy output. Notice, attack hits weak point, causing triple damage. Enemy status changes to weakened. Duration, 15 seconds. Then Sakura tells him, amazing, but don't let your guard down until the end. After that, she says to herself, it might be a low-level battle, but with my master it's very exciting. Indeed, our hero Tsuyoshi raises his dagger and brings it down on the monster's head, finishing it off. Afterward, he says to himself, that was truly a satisfying battle. Oh, I almost forgot to use the scroll before it drops. At that moment, one of the scrolls disappears and a notification from the system appears saying, notice, you've used 3 scrolls with high drop probability. The drop rate of all items has increased to 96%. Duration, 1 minute. Notice, you've earned 3,000 experience points. Experience 5. 436,000. You've defeated the level 7 Black Fox Beast boss and obtained the dark weapon, Cold Black Light Sword. Our hero is happy at that moment and then says to himself, even with maximum physical strength, I could get injured if I'm careless. If I find a weapon that suits me, I'll be able to launch stronger attacks. I've never seen a weapon that looks this impressive before. If I challenge the 3 from the Mad Wolf squad with this weapon, things will get more exciting. Just a little left to reach level 5. I'll reach level 6 by tonight, for Sakura and for myself. Then the system says, reset scroll. Shortens the respawn time of monsters in caves or fortified towers. The scroll's effect is reduced in high level or special areas. Sakura tells him, it's easy, you just need to use a reset scroll. The Fox Beastman Cave is a low-level area, so monsters return quickly. I have a few of them, enough to reach the required level, but how about taking a break first? I also have healing potions. Then our hero says to her, wow, you really have everything, don't you? It is a cave-headed, we see our hero walking with a sword in his hand, saying, "Well, I can't wait any longer. This cold black light sword is truly amazing. It can even slow down enemies with its cold effect." Sakura tells him, "Some weapons have special effects, and their strength varies. I'm sure you'll find better weapons in the future." Then our hero thinks and says to himself, "Speaking of powerful weapons, there's the Heavenly King's Hammer, a sacred monster weapon stored in the Heavenly Consciousness inventory. But at the moment, even if I used maximum physical structure with force, I could only use it for 1 second at most. If I could use it properly, I would be invincible." Second battle with the boss. We see our hero standing in front of the monster and saying, "Hello, how are you? I defeated your followers and reached level 5. Now, let's do this." Then our hero transforms and says to the monster with all malice, "I'm back again, you wretched fox." At that moment, the monster gets scared and starts to calmly present the weapon. But our hero still doesn't calm down and attacks it, grabs its weapon, finishes it off, and stands on it, along with all the monsters he finished off. At that moment, our hero is able to evolve to level 6 and then says, "I've renewed my energy 6 times from morning to evening. I must have now collected a complete set of Fox Beastman equipment. Finally, level 6. Now I can pass the trial. Just wait for me." That human said he would take the trial after reaching level 6. What a fool. There, at the entrance to the combat academy, the ghoul we saw before is sitting with his friend around a fire and telling him, a worthless human leveling up on Beastman territory. He doesn't know his place. His friend tells him, even if he reaches level 6, who knows when that will happen. Besides, only strong men can enter the combat academy. But both of them are surprised by the arrival of our hero, who looks very terrifying and says, "Hello, who knows when? You're so unlucky. I've already reached level 6 and I'm also ready to apologize to Sakura." We see the ghoul, who is a first-class beast warrior and also a supervisor at the academy, at level 20 standing, and saying to our tasked hero, "What's this? I was about to go to sleep. Is this a human trial? If you waste my time, prepare for the consequences." Our hero tells him, "I meet the conditions, so start the trial. Also, I want to choose a skill from the skill repository." After that, the second ghoul speaks and says to our hero, "Your words are great, but reaching level 6 does not guarantee passing the trial." "But what? From level 4 to 6 in less than a day? How is that possible?" Our hero tells him, "Man, don't run away now. If I pass the trial, you'll apologize to Sakura. And since you're a warrior from the monster race, you won't go back on your word, will you?" The first ghoul tells him, Fine, but where does all this confidence come from?" And the second ghoul tells him, "Interesting. I don't know what happened, but fine, let's do as you say. The idea that a weak human might pass a trial designed for us Beastmen is ridiculous." On the other side, we see the leader of the combat academy standing and saying, "If you've reached level 6, let's start right away. We Beastmen are a nation of strength, which means that strength is the first criterion for passing. And if you pass, you'll gain the right to use the skill treasury in the Beastman Combat Academy. The trial is simple. Look at the stone tablet on the platform. If you can break it with a single blow, you've passed." Our hero looks at the tablet and says, "Break it, that's all." The first ghoul then thinks and says to himself, "The leader plans to test the human using an outer stone. Even a level 10 warrior would struggle to break that stone. We usually use ordinary stones, so enjoy your confidence while it lasts." The outer stone is a stone that fell from the sky, used by beastmen to measure strength. It's easy for a beastman. All you have to do is split it with a single blow. I'll show you how it's done. After that, he thinks and says to himself with a wicked laugh, "Heh, easy, is it? Anyone below level 10 won't even be able to scratch the outer stone. It's not difficult if you're using an ordinary stone, but when it comes to a despised human, that's another story." After that, he attacks the stone and breaks it while saying, "Watch carefully, this is how it's done." Then he says to himself, "Even I, at level 20, have to give it my all." We see that the ghoul couldn't break the stone completely, but made a slight crack in it. After that, the ghoul tells our hero to start and show what he's got. Our hero indeed comes forward, thinking and saying to himself, "Leaving a mark, huh? Thanks to my superior physical structure, I can exceed the expected strength at my level. But as a precaution, I'll make a fine adjustment to the enhancement to increase the power of the impact and my fist strike." But the surprise is that we find our hero transformed, and his physical strength has become very high. This is the perfect physical fitness, 50% of strength concentrated in the right arm, allowing for tremendous power. The second ghoul says to his friend, I'm telling you, it might be easy for us monsters, but a weak human couldn't even. But he doesn't finish his sentence, and our hero gathers all his strength and hits the stone with his hand, destroying it. At that moment, everyone is shocked by what they're seeing. Then our hero says, "Oh, did I put in too much power? Really, it's so easy. I was expecting something harder than this." Sakura tells him, "As I expected, now you can access the skill repository." The ghoul says, "Leader, did you see what happened? What in the world is this?" The second ghoul says, "He broke the outer stone with one blow." "Impossible," our hero says to him. "So I'm considered to have passed, right?" The second ghoul tells him, "No, you failed. I wasn't watching when you did that." "That's right, I swear to you. The crack must be the result of my previous attempt, so breaking the outer stone. I mean, the stone doesn't count. This means you failed because you borrowed my strength." Tsuyoshi tells him, "What? So what's the plan for the trial now?" The second ghoul tells him, "We'll redo the trial. The next test is the iron bar bending test." The iron bar bending test is one of the strength measurement tests, where the participant must bend a very hard iron bar using force. Like this, he thinks at that moment and says to himself, "This is real steel. Even for a warrior from the monster race, it requires explosive strength to bend it." But the shock is that our hero can bend this steel with all ease, using the perfect physical fitness action. 50% of strength concentrated in both arms, allowing for tremendous power. The second ghoul is then greatly shocked, and after that, says to our hero, very irritably, "No, you failed. That iron is not meant for the test. We have no choice, so we'll resort to the oldest method, arm wrestling. If you can withstand our strongest warrior for 10 seconds, you'll pass the trial." At that moment, he is very happy and says to himself, "This time, it won't be like before. Even I can't beat him." But the shock is that our hero is able to finish off this wrestler in seconds, and he looks at them and says with all evil, "Wait, I have already completed 3 tests. I will pass this time, won't I?" They become terrified then and say, "What a terrifying human. Of course, you have passed." After that, Tsuyoshi looks at the first ghoul while holding Sakura's hand and tells him, "Now, as I promised you, you will apologize to Sakura." The ghoul is very upset at that moment and says, "Damn, alright, a monster tribe warrior keeps his promise. I'm sorry. I apologize for what I said last time." Sakura is very embarrassed and says, while looking at the ground, "I never expected this. I thought such treatment was normal. Please, don't worry about it." But then, Tsuyoshi speaks and says, "Sakura, you don't need to be humble. He must apologize. And all you have to do is accept the apology with pride." Sakura is very embarrassed and says, "Yes sir, I accept your apology." See, at the entrance of the skill vault, they are all walking, and the ghoul tells our hero, "You are allowed to take only one skill, scroll, each time you enter." Tsuyoshi tells him, "Only one skill at a time? That's ridiculous." The ghoul tells him, "Did you think you could take whatever you want? The Combat Academy has strict rules. Once you enter, you have 3 minutes to find a skill scroll that you like. If you break the seal on the scroll during that time, it becomes yours. But if time runs out, you will be forcibly expelled by the laws, and you won't be able to enter again for a period of time." Tsuyoshi tells him, "A time limit and a seal, then expulsion by the laws. What does that mean?" The ghoul tells him, "Human, the Combat Academy is a great place representing the region. The scroll seal is a magical seal, and the scroll cannot be used unless this seal is broken. The law barrier is a barrier that only a powerful sorcerer or conjurer can undo. It is able to impose conditions according to the laws, allowing or preventing the entry of living beings." Then the ghoul continues talking and says, "To protect the treasury, high-level sorcerers or conjurers are summoned to impose seals and barriers." Tsuyoshi tells him, "It seems more complicated than I expected." Sakura says, "True, I've heard about stricter conditions in higher-level combat academies." The ghoul tells him, "If you understand, enter. Don't even think about stealing a skill. The barrier will expel you immediately. Do you understand? You have 3 minutes. Choose a scroll and leave." The countdown for 3 minutes begins, and we see Tsuyoshi saying, "Wow, now I understand why they need magic to protect this place. With this huge number of skill scrolls, I would also feel tempted to steal some." We see that Tsuyoshi has gotten rid of his equipment because it's more comfortable in just a shirt. Sakura then says, "This is the first time I've entered a skill treasury, and every scroll is sealed so I can't see what it is. I feel like I could break the seals with brute force." Our hero is thinking then and says to himself, "I was planning to use absolute copy, but it's difficult to find a really good skill. Plus, using absolute copy might be a bit embarrassing. and I'm not sure if Sakura is capable of that. The way to use absolute copy is, sense your opponent's heart with your hand, then choose any one skill from their complete set of skills to copy. Tsuyoshi then says, anyway, let's start. All I have to do is use my power, right? I should choose a skill that will allow me to deal with those three. Success. The skill information has appeared. The system then displays a message saying, Shield Strike, a violent attack with a shield against the target, inflicting physical damage and possibly causing dizziness. Suitable for warriors with a defensive orientation or categories derived from them. Tsuyoshi then says, Shield Strike. I don't even use a shield. Sakura tells him, Sir, I don't need this skill, but I have something I want to show you. A blue-colored scroll appears, and this scroll is called Storm Step. Move quickly to a specific location to avoid enemy attacks and increase attack speed. Suitable for archers with a quick orientation or categories derived from them. Also another scroll called War Cry, which says, release a roar that inspires you and nearby allies, increasing attack and defense. Suitable for warriors with leadership character or categories derived from them. Sakura says, War Cry. It's a support skill, commonly used among warriors. After a while, the remaining time is 2 minutes. Tsuyoshi then says, only 2 minutes left. This is bad. Multiple shooting. It doesn't suit me at all. Sakura tells him, Sir, what do you think about a counterattack skill? The counterattack is, for a limited time, respond to the enemy's physical attacks, with the possibility of reversing negative effects. Suitable for warriors with a counterattack-based style or categories derived from them. Tsuyoshi then thinks and says to himself, counterattack. It might be useful. Okay, I'll keep it as a potential option. Tsuyoshi is sitting then and thinking, saying to himself, only 1 minute left. This is bad. I'm not being effective. It seems I can look inside the scrolls if I break the seals. At this stage, I'll have to use brute force. But then he says aloud, Sakura, you have endurance potions and energy potions in your bag, don't you? I might need to use them later. Step back and hide behind something solid. Hurry. Sakura actually does this and gives him her power, so our hero begins to use this power and a very strong thunderbolt occurs, and the ghoul is very shocked, and our hero then says, well, I will break all the seals at once. Sakura then thinks and says to herself, even I am amazed by the teacher's intensity. At that moment, an alert comes from the system, saying, Alert, due to level deficiency and conditions, you cannot unleash the full power of the Divine King's hammer. Forcibly releasing it will consume a huge amount of energy. Release duration is 1 second, but then our hero responds and says, 1 second is all I need. Or, we see that the ghoul is very shocked by Tsuyoshi's power, and also Sakura is shocked and says to herself, what a terrifying presence. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Our hero Tsuyoshi gathers all his strength at once and says, I will break all the seals on these manuscripts at once. We see that our hero applies his power to all the manuscripts that are actually present. Then Sakura enters and says, the seals on all the skill manuscripts were broken in an instant. We see that a notification comes from the system, saying, notice, the Heavenly King's hammer has been completely deactivated. Indeed, our hero is able to break all the existing seals and the remaining time is 50 seconds. Our hero actually transforms in a very terrifying way. Then Sakura thinks and says to herself, information from the manuscripts is flowing. Information from the hidden manuscripts is flowing abundantly, to the extent that it distorts space. If you received this amount of information all at once, sir, your mind wouldn't be able to process it. At this time, Sakura calls out to our hero, but he can't hear her at all and thinks, saying to himself, ah, my head, it's exploding. I've seen everything. Give me the strongest, the skill that suits me best. Remaining time, 40 seconds. This won't work. This is not enough. Give me a stronger skill. That scroll, it's sparkling with lightning. The remaining time is already 30 seconds. Sakura then calls to Tsuyoshi and tells him, sir, we've run out of time. Tsuyoshi then calls and says, Sakura, bring me the piece on the bottom shelf in the back corridor, the third from the back. Sakura then rushes and thinks, saying to herself, bottom shelf, third from the back, this is it. Is this a fragmented manuscript? There must be some mistake. Sakura grabs the manuscript, and this manuscript is fragmented manuscript. Manuscripts missing for some reason. Need to collect the remaining parts to complete it. In general, fragmented manuscripts contain incomplete content and very low skill power, so no one learns them. Sakura approaches our hero and tells him, "Sir, are you sure? This is a fragmented manuscript. Our time has run out to leave here. Remaining time, 10 seconds. Tsuyoshi picks up Sakura and tells her, "I can do more, I'll leave by myself." Outside, the ghoul is standing and saying, "Now silence prevails. Only 5 seconds remain. Even if he didn't find a scroll, he will be expelled when time ends." After that, he counts 3, 2, 1 and suddenly our hero exits carrying Sakura and says, "I finished, just in time." Then the ghoul says, "You brought a fragmented manuscript." At that moment, this ghoul begins to say, "I heard from my predecessor that in the past 1,000 years, almost no one tried to learn this fragmented skill. There are 2 reasons for that. First, this skill is divided into 6 volumes, and only 3 have been found so far. Collecting the rest without any clues in this vast world is unrealistic. And second, every human monster who tried to learn this skill in the past met their death due to the backlash when upgrading it. Their bodies would explode, leading to a horrific death. And perhaps the reason for that was their inability to control the power of the skill." Tsuyoshi tells him, "One puts in great effort to learn it, collects the remaining parts, then explodes in the end. Does that mean no one has ever mastered this skill?" The Academy president speaks and says, "No, there was one 1,000 years ago. There was the strongest king of monsters, known as the Heavenly King. He was also the bearer of our sacred tool, the Heavenly King's hammer. And that is the only skill left by the Heavenly King in that time." Tsuyoshi tells him with complete coolness and indifference, "A skill left by the bearer of the Heavenly King's hammer. Why was a skill of this power placed among that wreckage?" The Academy president tells him angrily, "Are you joking with me? Is this some kind of mockery? No matter how powerful a skill is, it's meaningless if no one learns it, just like how a superior weapon has no value in the hands of someone who doesn't know how to use it. Even though it's a skill left by the great celestial king, few believe it still exists, as no one has mastered it for 1,000 years. And like the former glory of the monster men, it will never return." Tsuyoshi is very happy, raising the manuscript in the air and saying, "No matter what, it's perfect for me. Sakura, let's go. That piece is just the beginning. Whether you'll be able to obtain the remaining parts, and whether you'll fully master the skill depends on your strength and luck. And you, the half-monster who was scheduled for execution, right? How dare you do this to the monster men? Perhaps that human still doesn't know your true identity. Do you intend to sacrifice him too?" Sakura tells him, "That's none of your business." After that, they leave the cave and Sakura says, "I'll see how far you can go." Inside the inn, we see our hero sitting, looking very tired, saying, "Sakura, your healing potion is incredibly effective, but it tastes terrible. How on earth did you make it?" "Sakura, you've been acting strange since you returned. Are you okay?" Sakura tells him, Yes, I'm just feeling a bit tired." Tsuyoshi tells her, "Sakura, I'm just curious. You were also scheduled for execution, weren't you? Was that just because of your background? You were next, weren't you?" Sakura tells him, Let's not talk about unpleasant things anymore. Sir, have you studied the remaining scroll? I've memorized it before. That old monster said strange things, but it seems perfect for me." Tsuyoshi says to himself, "The thunder chain requires a strong body, and it's most suitable for me, who has the strongest body. I can't wait to see what this skill will do when I collect all the remaining scrolls." Sakura tells him, "Wonderful, shall we go now? It's a beautiful day. It seems like a suitable day for you to level up, sir." Tsuyoshi tells her, "You're right, but before that, there's something I must do." At that moment, a notification from the system appears, saying, "Notification, the cooling period for the infinite loop has ended. The infinite passage is available. Infinite passage activated." Tsuyoshi says, "When I learned this skill, I understood how to deal with those 3. I told them to remember me, didn't I? I'll definitely kill them." Another notification appears from the system, showing our hero's status. Level 6 class, warrior equipment, monster fox set weapon, cold dark and light sword skill, thunder chain fall secondary skill, heaven and earth, vibrational combat power, 8,808. We see Tsuyoshi fighting a monster while thinking to himself, "I return before starting the attack. I need to break his fighting stance to activate my new skill. I need a weapon. I'm glad I have the celestial consciousness storage." At that moment, a screen appears from the system, saying, "Celestial consciousness storage has been activated. An item has been taken." Our hero then grabs the very large sword and says to himself, "I'm counting on you, skill." Then a screen appears from the system, saying, "Frozen black flash sword has been taken. Number of slots, 2 slots. Remaining slots, 1 slot. The mage then says, he pulled that sword out of the air directly. Does he have a dimensional ring? Gianna tells him, he certainly has some secrets. That sword also looks like a high-quality item. I'll take that sword. The second mage speaks and says, kill him first. We can divide the loot later. Tsuyoshi then prepares his sword and says, you started this fight. The first mage is very shocked and says, wait, he's actually a warrior. What is this intense aura? Tsuyoshi gathers all his strength, which is terrifying, and then strikes with an ability called Thunder Chain Fall. Thunder Chain Fall. While holding a magic staff or weapon, you can summon powerful lightning from the sky. After the skill hits a target, it bounces to another target, inflicting damage. The effect of paralysis applies to the affected target. They are all injured because of Thunder Chain Fall, and the mage says, how can that bastard use magic of such high level? I can't move my body. Tsuyoshi then looks terrifying and starts approaching them. The mage is very frightened and says to himself, damn, we underestimated him. He's completely different from before. What the hell is happening? It's frustrating, but it's better for us to escape. But then the other mage says, wait, we surrender. But our hero doesn't care and approaches him, striking him with the sword, saying, you think I'll forgive you for trying to kill me? Don't make me laugh. Gianna then screams and says, don't you realize we're from the Mad Wolf group? Please allow us. But our hero doesn't give him a chance and cuts off his head, saying, shut up and die quietly. The mage is the only one left, sitting on the ground and saying to himself, he shows no mercy. He knows he would be dead if he lets us leave. Surprisingly, Tsuyoshi approaches him and tells him, you're next. But surprisingly, the mage screams and says, do you think I'll let you kill me this way? At that moment, he uses an explosive adhesive fruit, which is a fruit that sticks to the target then explodes. Despite its small size, it is powerful and capable of causing enormous damage. For these reasons, it is rare and expensive. The method of use is, throw these fruits on the target where they stick, then use magic to detonate them. But our hero is able to block this attack with his sword, but the mage attacks him saying, die and explode. Then a powerful explosion occurs, and the mage says, I bought these fruits for a lifetime's worth. Even a level 12 hero would sustain some damage, but if you're just level 10, these fruits have enough firepower to shatter your body to pieces. You're 10 years too early to fight us. But he pauses for a moment and then says in shock, impossible. What is this power, for heaven's sake? The shock is that our hero emerges from the middle of the destruction, telling him, if not for my peak physical fitness, I would certainly be dead now. At that moment, our hero activates the Dark Demon set ability and the maximum physical structure ability. Our hero transforms and looks even more terrifying than before and rushes forward, saying to himself, I'll finish all 3 of them. He grabs his sword and finishes them all, then stands and says, do you think I would feel safe if I let you go? He returns to his normal state and says, you are members of the Mad Wolf group. All this happened because I'm still at a low level. How ugly is this world, where the weak are preyed upon? At that moment, our hero notices a bag inside the mage's clothes, so he says, as he pulls something out of the bag, what's this? Is it a dimensional ring? The ring is the dimensional ring, forged from a special material that allows the user to possess dimensional space. The size of this space varies, according to the level of the ring. At low levels, it's the size of a small room, while at high levels, it can extend to the size of a mountain. The space is determined by the ring's level, rarity, and the material used in its manufacture. Even if the ring is at a low level, it remains a high-value item. Tsuyoshi then wears the ring and says, it's really a dimensional ring. This is good loot. The system displays a message with instructions for use, saying, how to use, add mana to the ring to use it. If you wish to store an item inside, follow the same method. If the ring is linked to a user, only the user can use it until death or loss of ownership. Tsuyoshi then says, an ordinary hero would not be able to get his hands on a dimensional ring. Besides its price, it's also difficult to find one in the market. Let's try it. At that moment, he puts on the ring and something strange happens, and our hero says, impossible. Is it being activated just now? So this ring is still new. At that moment, the system tells our hero, you have successfully activated the dimensional ring for the first time. The ring is now synchronizing with your magic energy, mana. Tsuyoshi is very happy and says, nothing to be done about it since it happened. Thanks for the loot. After a while, we see Tsuyoshi thinking to himself, the hero's security forces have arrived. Thank goodness I left early. I carefully erased my tracks. I've already taken everything valuable, so they won't be able to find anything related to me. The Hero Security Force is a security force established by heroes. This organization is under the authority of the Heroes Alliance. At that moment, our hero's phone rings and he answers, and the speaker says, "Hello Tsuyoshi, this is your teacher." Tsuyoshi tells her, "What's the matter, teacher?" The caller is Lily, Tsuyoshi's home teacher, and she's telling him, "You still haven't come to school even though the winter break ended a whole week ago. I understand you wanted to leave school for your sister. I know the reason might be your financial situation, but I don't want to see a student drop out." Tsuyoshi remembers the past, the bullying he experienced, the beatings, and then tells the teacher, "I hated school. You should know that, right?" Teacher Lily then tells him, "I understand you, but you might be able to change your life if you don't stop studying. As for tuition fees, I'll try to do something about them, so you don't need to worry. I hope you have the courage to come to school tomorrow. You can't just remain a janitor for your sister and your future, right?" Tsuyoshi then thinks to himself, "She still doesn't know I've become a hero now. She's the only person who always worries about me." Teacher Lily interrupts his thoughts and tells him, "You're a strong boy, Tsuyoshi. I hope you don't run away from your problems and continue your studies. I'll support you as much as I can. You can do it for your sister and for yourself." But our hero Tsuyoshi hangs up the phone and is very upset, not knowing what to do, thinking to himself, "I thought I didn't want to go to school anymore. That was because I don't have any pleasant memories there. But I realized that after talking to teacher Lily Sensei, I'm a hero now. I'm not the same person who was weak and bullied. I'll make those bullies pay for their actions. Thank you very much, Sensei. I'll go to school tomorrow." Person sitting in a chair, and we don't know who this person is, speaking and saying, 3 people were killed by an unknown hero and their belongings were stolen. The dimensional ring I entrusted to them was also stolen. You thief. You couldn't even realize that a tracking spell had already been placed on that ring. The tracking magic is used to determine the approximate location of the item cast using a tracking device. The effect of this magic is usually hidden when cast, but a high-level mage can erase the magic's trace. And this person continues his speech and says angrily to his men, "I already know your location. I won't allow you to live after stealing from the Mad Wolf gang. Bring that thief here." The next morning, we see our protagonist Tsuyoshi with his sister Karina, and he says to her, "How are the braces doing?" Karina tells him, "It's fine as long as I walk slowly. Don't worry." Tsuyoshi tells her, "You're so stubborn, let's not rush and progress slowly." Tsuyoshi is thinking to himself, "As soon as she heard I was going back to school, she insisted on going to school together, saying, 'I don't want to be a burden on you.' Going to school in a wheelchair is much harder for her. I'm happy I bought these newly developed braces, but with a body like hers that can't walk, even if she can't stand, as long as she uses a cane, she can still barely walk. The price is ridiculous, but it's better compared to the wheelchair. If I give her this, she'll cry because I keep spending money on her. I was able to buy it with the money I looted from those 3, but now there's nothing left. I can't sell this dimensional ring. I'll get many opportunities as a hero." Looking at Karina's expression, it was all worth it. Yes, this is enough. After that, our protagonist says to his sister, "Take it slow when walking and don't wander around much after school. I'll come to pick you up downstairs." At this time, there are 2 girls standing and watching the situation. The first girl says, "Who is that girl who was using canes and strange devices to walk?" Her friend tells her, "Oh, do you mean Karina? She was attacked by darkness. She lost her parents and injured both her legs." The first girl tells her, "Wow, is that true? She became disabled after suffering from poverty. What a poor soul." Her friend tells her, "That incident was shown in the news, and even teachers were talking about it." The first girl tells her, "Isn't it better for poor people in slums to die? Covering them in the news is just a waste of resources. She has already annoyed me for a while, acting as if she's innocent and pure." Her friend tells her, "Are you planning to bully her again, Mina? She's disabled, you know, wouldn't it be bad if the school found out?" The first girl tells her, "What's wrong with disabled people? No one dared to raise their voice when I bullied her in the past, and it should be the same now I've become interested in her. Come on, I still have to meet my friend." At the office of the deputy principal, who is sitting and saying, "You should thank Teacher Lily. If Teacher Lily hadn't asked me, I wouldn't have even allowed you to come to school anymore. You shouldn't treat your studies this way. What do you think school is?" Teacher Lily tells him, "I know that, but he has his own circumstances. I've already given him some guidance, and the tuition fees have already been paid. I'll make sure he also gets the required credit hours for his studies." At that moment, Tsuyoshi says, "Deputy Principal, Teacher Lily, thank you very much. I apologize for causing this problem." At that moment, the Deputy Principal looks at Teacher Lily with a very wicked look and says to himself, "I don't care about the student at all. All my interest is in you, Teacher Lily. You really need a lover like me." Teacher Lily is walking with Tsuyoshi and tells him, "I will also cover the tuition fees for your sister, so there's no need to worry. You're both strong kids." Tsuyoshi tells her, "I'm sorry for making you worry about us like this. I will definitely return the money." Teacher Lily tells him, "We can talk about that later. You're in your 3rd year now, so prepare for your exams instead. And besides that, you look brighter compared to before, Tsuyoshi-kun, and I'm really happy." Tsuyoshi tells her, "Do I? I've been trying my best recently, and I will definitely live up to your expectations." At that moment, Tsuyoshi thinks to himself, "I'm sorry for not telling you that I'm a hero. The matter related to the Mad Wolf hasn't been settled yet, so I have to be careful. But at least I want to show you that I'm not the same as I was before." Teacher Lily tells him, "Hurry and go to your class. The subject now is art." And there's a boy sitting and saying, "I thought Tsuyoshi had been expelled from school, but here he is back." His friend tells him, "Of course, while he was absent, my daily allowance from protection fees was cut off." The boy tells him, holding the paper and about to throw it, "Do you think I'll sympathize with your family situation? You should have sympathized with me, who didn't have money to enjoy at the karaoke bar." His friend tells him, laughing, "That's right, Riley." At that moment, Riley throws the paper while saying, "Let me first remind you of the feeling of getting hit by a paper ball." But the shock is that our protagonist catches the paper in his hand, and they are extremely shocked. Our protagonist then looks at them and says, "Riley, come to the bathroom later." At that moment, Riley gets very angry and is about to break the table, and says to our protagonist, "Haha, am I hallucinating or hearing correctly? He's inviting me to the bathroom. That scoundrel has become bold just because he hasn't seen me for some time. I'll make you taste some pain." After the bell rings, we see that there's a boy standing at the bathroom, not allowing anyone to enter, and saying, "Riley is currently using this bathroom, so go somewhere else." Tsuyoshi and Riley are standing facing each other, and Riley says, "Were you picking up trash after leaving school? I heard you became a janitor. Now, I'm asking you about the protection fees." At that moment, his friend says to our protagonist, "Give me your money, or else." Our protagonist tells him, "Or else what?" Riley then goes silent and is very angry, but after that, he says, "Stop messing around, I'll hit you." At that moment, Riley's friends say, "We were waiting for those words, Riley. You're dead now." They approach our protagonist and want to hit him, but surprisingly, our protagonist is able to block this attack and says to himself, "What amazing strength. Have I become this strong so quickly? I'm not afraid anymore. I, who was previously without courage to protect myself, but now I'm different." At that moment, a message from the system appears, saying, "Level 6 class, warrior equipment, dark imp set weapon, frozen black flash sword skill, thunder chain fall, secondary skill, skyquake combat power, 8,800 celestial eye activated. No class, no combat power, not even a threat." At this time, our protagonist grabs these two and takes them down in seconds. At that moment, Riley is very shocked and thinks to himself, "What the hell is happening? Why does that weak Tsuyoshi suddenly feel like he has become a completely different person?" Suddenly, the guard enters the bathroom and says, "Riley-san, the boss is here, let's run and escape." Indeed, Riley takes his friend and leaves, very upset, while our protagonist stands watching them and says, "That look seems like the kick wasn't enough. I'm glad I suppressed my anger. If I had used the peak of my physical fitness while kicking them, they would be dead by now." Telling her, "I'll cause you more trouble, I'm sorry, Haru." Her friend then tells her, "It's okay, just call me if you need anything. And this notebook also." But suddenly a girl hits the notebook, and this girl is the bully and her friend. The bully's friend says, "Mina, Karina's body is disabled now." The bully tells her, "If you say something again, I'll hit your face after that." At that moment, Mina is very scared and doesn't know what to do. The bully girl sits in front of Karina and starts to tell her, "You haven't come to school for a long time, and during that period, I didn't have slaves around me, and that was very annoying. So how will you compensate me?" Karina then tells her, "The thing is that I don't have any money." At this time, the bully looks at her with all evil and tells her, "Money? Aren't those things attached to your legs sellable? we see Karina sitting in front of the bully and her friend, and she tells her, "The braces. No, my older brother did his best to buy them for me, so they are very important to me." At that moment, the bully tells her, "Oh, so they're important to you. It seems you can't walk without them." Karina tells her, "Yes, they're important." But shockingly, the bully slaps Karina on her face. At that moment, the teacher enters and says, "The class is about to start, return to your seats." At that time, the bully walks away while saying to Karina, "Shh, the teacher is here. Well, it's the 6th period now. Don't dare to go home as soon as school ends, Karina. Our conversation isn't over yet." The teacher starts explaining, but Karina is in another world, thinking and saying to herself in horror, "I must escape as soon as the lesson ends. I can't wait for my big brother. I must make sure he won't meet Mina and the others by taking a side path through the back gate." In Tsuyoshi's class, we see teacher Lily standing and saying, "Today's lesson ends here. Be careful on your way home." After that, the teacher asks our protagonist to talk, and after the lesson, our protagonist stands with her and tells her, "Yes, what is it?" The teacher tells him, "Have you started to get used to school after being absent for some time? I wonder if there's something I can do to help you today." Tsuyoshi tells her, "I'm fine, thank you." The teacher tells him, "Really, I'd be happy if that's the case. Instead of being afraid like before, make sure to tell me when you're being bullied." Tsuyoshi tells her, "I'm really fine, Professor. Thank you." He says goodbye to her and starts to leave, but he hears the voice of the bully boy saying to him, "Hello, Tsuyoshi. I'd like to apologize for the incident that happened in the bathroom. Can you come with me? Let's talk somewhere else." Tsuyoshi tells him, "Where?" The boy tells him cunningly, "It's over there. I want to apologize somewhere else." Here, surprisingly, someone appears and attacks our protagonist. The boy starts running away, saying, "Riley, make sure not to overdo it." But surprisingly, when he looks again, he finds our protagonist has broken the stick that Riley had. Because our protagonist activated maximum physical fitness, concentration of 30% of power in both arms. This boy is terrified, and our protagonist then looks at him and says, "I knew you were planning something suspicious, but I didn't expect you to be at this low level." Surprisingly, our protagonist attacks him and his third friend, knocking them to the ground, and they're about to lose consciousness. He says to them, "You haven't learned the lesson, you failures." At that moment, Riley gets very angry when he grabs another stick and attacks our hero and insults him, but our hero tells him, "If you weren't in school, you would have been killed." At that moment, Riley is very afraid and says to himself, "I can't move my hand at all. Am I afraid of Tsuyoshi?" But our hero interrupts his thoughts with a very strong slap that lands on his face, making him fall to the ground with his head against the wall. And our hero tells him, "I'm late picking up my sister now. The hero's code has saved you. A hero should not kill a civilian." In the corridor leading to the back gate, we see Karina as she escapes, very terrified, thinking and saying to herself, "I have to escape from Mina through the back gate. I just need to head towards the front gate after I exit from the back. It's still difficult for me to walk down the stairs. I need to stay calm and walk slowly." But she doesn't manage to escape, and Mina comes and pushes her, making her fall to the ground to the point that she bleeds, and stands, saying, "You fell. Do you think you can escape from me through the back gate? We knew you would come here. Take those things off your legs." Karina is very frightened and tells her, "Please stop, don't take my braces." Mina tells her, "You realize that you won't be able to escape easily if we take those braces ourselves, don't you?" At the front gate, our hero Tsuyoshi is standing and saying to himself, "Hasn't Karina come yet? I went to her class earlier, but they said she had already left." But Karina's friend comes and says to our hero, "Excuse me, you're Karina's older brother, right?" Our hero tells her, "Yes. Do you know where Karina is? We promised to go home together." The girl tells him, "I think she went through the back gate. Why don't you go check yourself?" We see that Tsuyoshi is heading to where his sister is, and he's thinking and saying to himself, "Is Karina at the back gate? Why, something must have happened, as Haru acted strangely. She seems to be afraid of something. Anyway, I need to find Karina. You need to cross these stairs to reach the back gate. Will Karina really come here?" But when our hero arrives, he finds his sister in a very difficult state from all the beating, and she also tells him, "Big brother, why are you here?"